I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate.
Time and time again, The View has completely disregarded the American people and the mandate they made on November 5th when they decided to elect Donald J. Trump as the 47th president. And Stephen A. Smith comes on The View today or the other day to completely debunk not only their nonsense rhetoric, but to just make them look silly. And we're going to get into this clip. But before we do, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to RTM News because it ensures to YouTube that you're enjoying our videos. And in turn, they'll continually show up in your feed and then they'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
So Trump's only been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever. And he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it all, 89% of the counties shifted against. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
What's a different
And here's the thing. There's nothing you can say to that, right? There's nothing you can say. But there are things said by Joy, and it's absolutely insane. Every swing state, every single swing state, he blew her out of the water. Because, I mean, all you needed was a few of those to win. He got every single one of them. A Republican hasn't won the popular vote in over 20 years. 20 years. And it was just by a small percentage. He beat her by multiple millions votes. Multiple millions of votes. But you want to sit there and diminish it because you don't like him. And it's just disingenuous. No one trusts you guys because of this type of rhetoric you spew. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm so thankful to Stephen A. Smith for calling her out because it is ridiculous. It is demanded by the American public. And then watch them. They're going to get into some more dumb stuff because they always want to pull semantics and pick and prod at random little things to try and make them seem more valid. And it's never, ever, ever real. So let's check out and see what Joy has said to this.
Definition of a mandate, I guess.
But the problem is that if
change the definition of a mandate, okay.
the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
Some people didn't
we should continue to do that. Don't continue to do that. Find a new strategy.
But do you think those groups, the black voters, the Latino voters, and the others that you mentioned, are they going to regret it soon?
Possibly. I think so. I don't like what I'm seeing from Trump. I didn't like what I saw with Zelensky. I didn't like what I saw with a few things. But in the end, I didn't like it. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. The American people, in their eyes, it wasn't about him. They were voting against what the Democrats were throwing in their direction. I don't only talk to Cuomo. I did interview Eric Adams. I did interview Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. I interviewed these people. I've talked to them, and I'm going to talk to some more of them, too. And I'm going to say the same message. What are you doing to win? I love Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland. I love John Kerry, Pennsylvania.
Honestly, I hate that. I hate that. What are you doing to win should not be the objective. What are we going to do? What are we going to do to better the American people? What are we going to do to better America? What are we going to do to protect our borders, to have good relations with other countries? What are we going to do? Like, that should be the priority. But it's not. Like what he just said is literally all they think about. How are we going to win? How does our side win? This is why people hate this two-party system. There shouldn't be a two-party system because this is all that they've prioritized is how do we win? How do we stay in power? That shouldn't be the objective. We shouldn't be secondary. We should be first. The American people, we elect these people to do what we want them to do, and they never do it. It's all about them. How can they continue to stay in power? It's ridiculous. That's not what we should be focusing on. But of course, it's not going to change. But they're going to keep doing that.
Thank you. Okay. I just interviewed Cuomo. I like him a lot. I want somebody to step up and recognize that man in the Oval Office, whether you like it or not, is potent. He's coming and he wins. You got to find a way to beat him. This way is not the way that the Democrats have been doing it.
Let's talk about how people are feeling about his performance, because a CNN poll this week found that 52%
Oh, a CNN poll found that 52%. Go ahead.
of people disapprove of Trump's performance in office so far. So even though he may have won the general election by less than 50%, 52% disapprove of what he's doing.
Okay, before she even finishes out, 52% disapprove of what he's doing, right? Okay, let it be known, this is only within 6 weeks of him being the president. He has 52% people that don't approve of what he's doing, right? Disapproval rating, what do you want to call it? This is what Biden had worse than this on his 4th year. 6 weeks in. He's doing better than Biden did 4 years in. He's doing, like, these people, man. That's embarrassing. Took 4 years for, man. All right, anyways, I'm done.
We're also seeing Republican voters at town halls opposing his executive overreach, giving Elon Musk the shadow presidency. Yet you said, quote, Trump is closer to normal than what we're seeing on the left.
Yeah, I was talking about why he won the election.
so?
When I made that,
She just say Elon Musk has a shadow presidency. Is that not going to be dubbed a conspiracy theory? Elon Musk, the shadow presidency? Elon Musk is not running the country. He has the Department of Government Efficiency is the thing that he runs. So yes, he's looking into all the finances of the government, where all of our money's going, and saying, okay, is this efficient? Is this okay? Is this right? Is this wrong? And maybe he's saving money, maybe he's not. I know there's a lot of arguments on whether or not that's actually happening. I don't even know. I haven't even looked at that because I'm gonna let Trump do what he said he was gonna do. And if I see things that I think are sketchy, I'm gonna call it out. But like, this is absolutely ridiculous. He's not the shadow president. No one actually thinks that. You're just trying to find ways to cause division in between the people that were mandated by the American people to be in the positions they're in right now. People wanted Elon Musk to be in this position. They wanted it, and we're getting it. And hopefully what we got is what we voted for. But like, it's absolutely disingenuous to sit there and try and spew that shadow presidency nonsense. He's not the president. He's not, and you know he's not. So stop that.
statement I was talking about, that was before the election.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
So when during the election, I said, in the immediate aftermath of the election, I pointed out he was voted for because they considered him closer to normal than what the Democrats were spewing. That was what I said at that particular moment in time. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is an entirely different matter altogether.
Right.
This man is not an elected official. He hasn't been confirmed by the Senate or anything, but he's got an inordinate amount of power.
Given to him by Trump.
I can understand how that could scare the living daylights out of folks, and the approval ratings, obviously we pay attention to that. But here's the bigger question. Who on the Democratic side are the American people pointing to and saying that's the person?
Well,
they don't have anybody yet.
Well, we're
plenty.
6 weeks in with you know who.
National Voice.
Right.
We're 6 weeks in with you
Leader
know who.
Jeffries.
Everybody said let him do what he's doing so we can see what's going on. So, and now people are saying, well, what are you going to do as a Democrat? Well, wait a minute now. Y'all didn't want to hear what we had to say as Democrats because that wasn't what people voted for.
True.
So now.
And the reason why they said that was because you guys didn't have anything. We didn't want to hear what you said because what you were saying was nonsense. And you're saying, oh, well, why are you asking us what we're going to do now? Because you're crapping on everything Trump's doing in the first 6 weeks. First of all, he's undoing all the nonsense Biden's done over the last 4 years. He's undoing that. And you're sitting there complaining about every little thing he's done in the next 6 weeks. And because of your complaints and because of all this ridiculous nonsense that you're spewing, they're asking, okay, if we're so bad in our 6 weeks, a month and 2 weeks, if it's so bad, what are you going to bring to the table? That is why we bring asking questions. Not because people actually want to know what you want to do, because we don't think you're going to do anything good. So like you saying that, this is what I'm talking about. It's the narrative spewing, the shifting of the goalposts to try and come at a different angle so it sounds different. No, it's not like we want you to do things to help us. Obviously, we want everyone to be united. If you guys can work together, if these people can actually have like people on each side of the aisle coming to work together, bipartisan like policies that actually help the American people, I'm all for it. But when you're asked, what are you going to do? It's not because we want you to do anything at all. We want you to sit back and watch Trump do what he said he was going to do. That's what we want you to do. But because you're complaining, we're asking you, what is your alternative that's going to be better than what's being done? That's what's being asked of you. So don't spin it like that, Whoopi. You know what you're doing.
We have a clear definition, and the American people will decide how they like what he's doing, because now it's affecting in a way that people were not anticipating. People who didn't think they would be affected, like the folks who work in the federal government, they never saw this coming.
And
They
people can't
never
make
saw this
omelets
coming. Sorry
anymore.
about
That's
that.
right.
People can make omelets. Everybody doesn't eat eggs. Not a fan, but I like chickens. But I'm not a fan of eggs for the mouth. Anyway, our thanks to Stephen A. Smith. Be sure to check out his interview with the former governor of New York.
There goes Whoopi with a whole lot of nonsense and just, it's all emotions, man. It's all about how they feel a type of way. They don't know, they don't have any facts to back up the way that they feel. Even Sonny Houston, the one thing she could bring up was the approval rating. It's the first 6 weeks. Biden had a worse approval rating. I don't know, like, and when it comes to the people that work in the government, these are things that were stated during the campaign. They act like this is, oh, they didn't know that Trump was going in to deport all these people that are here illegally. Yes, we did. That's what we're voting for. They didn't know that. Yes, we knew. We knew that he was going to cut government spending and try and find better ways to utilize our money. Like, that's what we voted for. These people that work for the government didn't know they might. Yes, they did. They had an idea. They were pretty sure. Maybe we didn't know the exact details. No, they weren't in office yet. But obviously, and you're not going to be happy with everything a president does. You're not. Because we're all different. We're not going to be happy because we all have different opinions and views on what it is we want him to do. So it's like, no, man, I'm so sick of this. Y'all don't actually care about change. You're just spewing nonsense. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. I want to know what you guys are thinking, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.